Alright, you guys, this is geometry. We are going over the second part of this exam. I didn't finish up the review yesterday, so finishing it up today. For this right here, this is a line segment, my directed line segment. So the directed line segment, you guys have your calculators, you got your handy dandy, and you got your notebook on page 23. I'm going to give you guys more stuff to add to that here momentarily. So, line segment AB in the coordinate plane has endpoints here and here. So, please, class,
Yes.
please put these points on your graph. So, negative 9, 5. Negative 9, 5 is right here. This is my A. And 1, 0. 1, 0. There's my B. There we go. So, now, I know everyone was paying attention when I was actually going over the warm-up. Is this thing going up or going down? Down. So, if it's going down, what's going to be negative? The y value. So, delta y is going to be negative. Very good. So, okay, so I'm going to actually do this. So, I have my points, and it says graph AB, find the location of point P so that P divides it into two parts with length of the ratio of 1 to 4. If my ratio is 1 to 4, what is my fraction? Very good. Fraction is 1 over 5. So because there's 1 in this group, there's 4 in this group, okay, so if I refer it back to the homework, okay, I have 1 person that did their homework and 4 people that did not. So as a fraction, it's 1 out of 5 people did their homework. Okay, and that's what my fraction is I'm looking for. So I have my fraction. So I know this is going down. So the next thing I find is my deltas. So my delta x. How far apart is negative 9 from 1? It's 10, right? That's going to be 10 apart. I could count that if I were to take my thing and complete my right triangle here. Right here. So I have my right triangle, so now my delta x, if I count that over, it's going to be 10. My delta y. My delta y, how far is 5 away from 0? 5, yes. Up a little? Okay, yes, I'm sorry. There we go. So my delta y is 5. Okay. And we said that this graph is going which way? Down. So class, down means it is? Negative. Thank you. Down is negative. So if I'm reading it that way, down's going to be negative. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put a what in front of that 5? Negative 5. Now, from my formula that I gave you guys, okay, we read from left to right. So which point is the first one reading from left to right? Point A, right? So my A, I'll write it right here again, so because I had to move the thing down. 9, comma 5. So my formula, parentheses. I start with my x value, which is negative 9 plus parentheses. What goes there? What goes there inside the parentheses? My fraction, 1 over 5, very good. Times. If this is my x value, that means it has to be what number? 10, very good. Close it. So there's that piece. Comma. What goes next? The y value, which is my 5, plus parentheses. What goes next? 1 over 5 times. This is my y value now. So it's going to be my negative 5. Close right there. Now, we're going to put in the calculator. Put all this in the calculator. You get what? I don't think it's negative 18. So it's negative 9, and this piece right here should give me 2, right? So if I put in the calculator correctly, calculator correctly, can you guys see that? All right. So it's negative 9 plus parentheses, my control divide, my 1 over 5 times 10, close it, negative 7. Very good. So my point P, x value is negative 7, comma. Now do the same thing for the y value. 5 plus 1 over 5 times negative 5. You get 4. Okay? There it is. That's all the work you guys need. Now, I asked you guys the other day to make sure this was in your handy dandy. Is it in your handy dandy notebook? Okay? In your handy dandy notebook, it should be there. Alright, there's another way of doing this, and I'm going to show you guys now. Okay? So this goes along with my fraction. So the other way of doing this goes along with my fraction. So this is 1 part out of 5. So I need to take each one of these and divide it by 5. So to do this on my graph only, I take my delta x and divide it by 5. So I'm going to go down here. So I already have the answer here. I'm just showing you a new way of doing this. So new way. New way. So geo new way. 10 divided by 5. And this is for my delta x. Why did I put 15? Which gives me 2. So this is what you're going to do. So now that I have that, for the delta x, no, I'm only doing the x right now. I'm only going to do the x, and you'll see what's going to happen here. So I'm gonna make this work. So I can do it with my x's, or I could do it with my y's. Either way, it's going to work out exactly the same point. So I'm going to take it and divide each one in 2. So I'm going to start by looking at my graph. You guys can see the graph now. So every 2. So I'm going to put a tick mark right here at 2. So right here, 1, 2. Right there, 1, 2. Right there, 1, 2. There, 1, 2. There. So those are my parts. I'm going to take those lines all the way up to touch my line. So if I did this correctly, I divided my delta x by my how many parts I need, right? It's 1 out of 5. That's where I get from there. So now I broke it up into my pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 pieces, right? How many parts was I looking for? I was looking for the first part, right? The first part, I would count from here. 1, so that means this is my point P. You always read from left to right. So we did this correctly. I didn't have to do all of this right here. I could just do my fraction, my delta x and delta y, and then go from there. So this is supposed to be negative 7, 4. Negative 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, look, it's there. It's the exact same answer as I got, just using this time dividing up my graph. Okay. Now, right here, let's see if I want it from the other side. So let's say I started from the other side. If I started from the other side, reading from left to right, so let's count from the right side this time. Because it says actually 2 possible. 2 possible. If I were to count it from the right side, what would my point be? I just count over right here and I come up right here, right? So there'd be this point right here. So this way, if you divide it up, if I were to say, hey, give me 2 out of those. 1, 2, and look, that would be my point. Does that make sense? Barely? Barely. Burly? Okay, let's, so my other point that I have right here, so my P could be from the other side, which would be right here, which is -1, 1. So reading from the left, it's over here. Reading from the right, it's over here. Make sense? Kinda? No? How about we do another one? Okay, so let's take a look here. So I'm going to start by graphing this one right here. On number 8, I'm going to graph it. So I have CD in the coordinate has the endpoints of C and D. So -2, 1. Or -2, -1. -2, -1. There's my C. And 10, 3. 10, 1, 2, 3. There's my D. There's my C. And then I'm going to go through. I'm going to take my graph. I'm going to make my right triangle. There's my right triangle. With point M at 7, 2. 7, 2. Let's see where that's at. So 5, 6, 7, up 2. There's my point M. Now, you guys ready? Because I'm going to show you guys how to cheat on this. This is going to be the easiest thing you've ever done. If you can graph these, okay, if this is your point right here, if that's your point, we're going to connect it to either this one here or this one over here. You always want to use a smaller though. So I'm going to go like this. Make a triangle there. What is my delta x? One, 2, 3. What is my delta y? 1, right? Am I up too high? Oh, I'm sorry. My delta y is going to be 1, isn't it? Okay, so now let's do the same thing. But let's go backwards. So how far do I go down? Y is up and down, right? So going from M to D, I went up, didn't I? Okay, but now I'm going to go backwards. If I'm going to go backwards, I need to go down 1 and over 3. So let's do that. Down 1 over 3. There's one of my points. Do it again. Down 1 over 3. There's another point right there. Down 1 over 3. And look, that leads me all the way to C. How many pieces did I break this up into? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is 4 in my fraction, right? There's 4 in my fraction. Okay, so if I read it from left to right, M is how many of those? 1, 2, 3. So my fraction is 3 over 4, right? Now let's see if you guys paid attention. If my fraction is 3 over 4, what is my ratio? 3, 2, 3 and 1. Very good. Now how many is on this side? There's 3 on this side and 1 on that side. Then let's look at it. How many is there total? There's 4 total, right? And that's where I get that. So if there is 3 on the left side which is this, and 1 on the right side, it's that. A little bit more sense? Okay, just stair step. That's it. Now, I'm going to stop the video. Don't forget, like and subscribe. You know what? Let me see. Josue is going to do a dance if you guys give me 1 million views.